Some games are instant classics. Some games are complete poop. But what about those amazing games that are just a little bit poopy? Sounds like a case of yum candy, bad candy. Tomb Raider. The franchise and its leading lady have been around for 20 years now, and they're just recently enjoying renewed interest thanks to a couple of pretty stellar games that re-envision the classic explorer with great mechanics and satisfying survival exploratory gameplay. Everyone knows the franchise hasn't always been solid gold. In fact, it could be argued that the Tomb Raider lineage consists of some of the most disappointing games ever made. But the first game was something special. It provided you with huge worlds packed with exploration, action, and secrets, and at the time it really looked amazing. Tomb Raider helped usher in the era of 3D gaming. In fact, IGN called it the PlayStation's Mario 64. Lara Croft herself became everyone's favorite aristocratic British explorer. I mean, before that it was Dr. Livingstone, I presume? Or maybe Tarzan? But this classic masterpiece is also rife with bad candy. Let's take a look at the top 7 crappy things in 1996's hit 3D explorer, Tomb Raider.
Number 7.
The plot. Adventure movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark were fun for their action scenes, writing, and villains, not to mention a pinch of the supernatural. And while the original Tomb Raider did its best to follow that recipe, I think it's safe to say it erred more on the side of flying saucers than melting faces, if you know what I mean. It's a fun concept on paper. Archaeologist and adventurer Lara Croft is hired by a huge corporation to recover an artifact called the Scion, which has ties to civilizations all over the world, but specifically to the mythical continent of Atlantis. It opens up all kinds of possibilities to explore Incan ruins, Egyptian tombs, and mythical Atlantean architecture. But there's also the part about the owner of Natla Technologies being an ancient Atlantean queen who wants to use the power of the Scion for genetically engineering monsters. Yeah, did you forget about that?
Even create new breeds.
Kind of evolution on steroids, then.
A kick in the pants.
The inane plot is bad candy. Which leads us to
Number 6.
the enemies. Murdering innocent animals has long been a staple of the Tomb Raider series, and look, I get it. Shooting a bloodthirsty wolf or a ravenous bear makes a degree of sense. But what about the little harmless bats and rats and spiders? Okay, fine, that was in the sequel, but seriously, Lara kills everything she sees unprovoked. Isn't that a sign that you could grow up to be a serial killer or something? You literally run into a den of wolves and murder every last one of them. Tomb Raider, huh? Well, it's a tomb now, bitch! But you know what? That's not even my problem, really. It's these guys. Mummies? Really? And right when I don't think I can take the game seriously anymore, it introduces the Atlanteans. I mean, I guess these are technically supposed to be genetically engineered mutants from Natla Technologies, but they're just ridiculous. Oh yeah, and dinosaurs. Let's not forget about that. But you know what? I'll let this one slide. It's actually pretty awesome. Who doesn't like dinosaurs? By the way, best surprise in any video game ever. But the ridiculous enemies are bad candy.
You firing at me? You firing at me, huh? Ain't nobody else here. You must be firing at me.
Number 5.
The darkness. Yeah, it's creepy. Tomb Raider levels were often very dark, and even the ones that seemed like they should have been outside were really inside massive caves shrouded in blackness. It was kind of a problem actually in the larger areas, because sometimes you could barely even see the ground. And back in the day, if you had a CRT monitor that was going out, like a certain host of a certain YouTube channel, you were probably going to miss that medkit in the corner. Or maybe even the entire level. Yeah, when I first played the Lost Valley back in the day, I spent freaking hours searching for where to go until finally seeing this little ledge in this dark-ass cave. The dark fog is bad candy.
Number 4.
A strong female lead. Whoa, hold on there. Cool your jets, SJWs. Let me be clear. Lara Croft is a great character, and the idea to use a female lead ran counter to everything going on in game design at the time. A strong, badass female Indiana Jones, who's every bit as capable as her male counterparts, was inspired, and actually, the fact that Tomb Raider had a female lead probably got a lot more girl gamers to play it than would have otherwise. In fact, one of the biggest Tomb Raider fan sites out there, TombRaiders.net, is run by a woman. It's Stella's Tomb Raider site. But the bad thing about Lara Croft was that she was a distraction. More specifically, these were a distraction. Apparently, a slip of creator Toby Gard's wrist resulted in an accidental inflation of Lara's bust while the game was in development. This was finalized when the creative team agreed, canonizing the cartoonish look of her figure and setting in motion reams of marketing material for news sources to lash onto. There were practically more articles about Croft as the first sex symbol of gaming than articles about the games themselves. And as of 2016, she's been featured on over 1,100 magazine covers over the years, far more than any supermodel. But the in-game character was never the pinup that the media promulgated. In my opinion, all this fame helped to take attention away from the game series, which began a slow decline into the rubbish bin as cracks in the tired game engine showed, and the gameplay quickly became stale. This, combined with countless pin-up artwork and yes, the Nude Raider patch, kind of gave fans of the games a bad name. All this from an initial game model with boobs so low poly you're in more danger of getting sliced than turned on. It's a little embarrassing, to be honest. I mean, what is this, people? So maybe Lara Croft isn't bad candy, but the way they marketed her, especially in the 90s and early 2000s, definitely was.
Number 3.
The camera. Camera control in 3D third-person games has always been a challenge for developers, so just imagine how it was back in 1996 when the idea of having to control a 3D camera was brand new. The camera is, sometimes, bad candy.
Number 2.
Blocks. Oh, I can push this? Oh, sweet! This opens up a whole new level of problem solving and exploration and... Could we just get on with it? You know when a game has a mechanic or a particular level design that just seems to serve as padding to make it take longer to beat? Blocks. And that sort of leads us to...
Number 1.
the god-awful controls. You know how when you launch Lara off a cliff in Tomb Raider 2013, she automatically grabs onto ledges, pretty much no matter how badly you screw up the angle? Well, that's just not how it was back in the day. It's well known that the original Tomb Raider's worlds were built on a grid system. Every bit of topography, everything that you can climb on is built out of square blocks of different heights and angles. Now, maybe this made sense from a game engine standpoint, but the problem was that the controls were engineered to mimic the grid. A tap on the back button sent you jumping back one whole grid unit, while a tap forward was something like a third of a square. Standing jump sent you as far as 2 blocks forward, while running into a jump could get you 3 blocks. But you have to hold the action button to grab onto any ledges, and if you don't hit the edge at a pristine 90 degrees, no dice. The precision with which you had to size up and set up each jump kind of took the fun out of movement and made it tedious, even back in the day. Plus, you were always an accidental button tap away from certain death, since Lara didn't automatically grab ledges like she does today. Of course, you could engage walk mode to keep you from running off ledges, but not if you want to beat the game before dying of old age. Cole, blimey, what is the point of this? Look, Core, I mean, it's a very nice animation, but don't you think in the time it took to animate and program this, you could have, fixed the rest of the freaking controls? It was annoying enough to have to stop and hit a button to pick up items, but guess what? That's not close enough. Nope, that's too far away too. Oh, not facing the right way. Ooh, I know the keyhole is right there, but just come this way a little bit. Ah, perfect. Perfect. There's a reason this game required a lengthy tutorial level to train you in how to move the character. But, in 1996, what 3D platformer didn't need a tutorial? The controls and movement in Tomb Raider are freaking bad candy. Don't get me wrong, Tomb Raider was an amazing achievement for the time. It was a lot of fun to blast bad guys and explore ancient ruins, solving puzzles and avoiding pitfalls along the way. And with the right shade of nostalgia glasses, it's still a lot of fun, but it's also safe to say that thanks to the cruel mistress of time, some aspects have held up very poorly. What are some of your favorite classics that have doses of yum candy and bad candy? Sound off in the comments section, and as always, thank you for watching Dome Candy Games, because video games are like candy for your dome.